Good evening, BookTube, YouTube. This is Johnny. Thought I'd do a Friday reads. My wife is gone tonight. She went to a conference, a women's conference on prayer. It's tonight and tomorrow. So I am alone here in the hermit hut. And I thought, I looked at my YouTube or my BookTube channel. It's been one day since I made a video. So I don't want to go overboard, I suppose. I thought of not making a video until next week. Then tomorrow is a Saturday. And then there's a Sunday. And you know, I have plenty of time. I'm not going anywhere, but I thought I'd do a video. So today is January the 17th, 2025. It is a Friday. It is 7:04 at night here in Southwest Michigan. And I've been writing in my diary. I stop writing in my diary around 3 o'clock in the afternoons, but sometimes if nothing is going on in my small little world, I write. And so I'm on page 59 tonight for the year 2025. Yeah, last night I ordered some more pens and I ordered index cards. I use index cards for my bookmarkers in my books, and I was all out of bookmarkers. So what I do if I get a book, used or a new book, I put an index card in. Now I don't always do it, but like you'll notice, I've been reading The Natural History by Carlos Fonseca, and you see the index card. That's my little bookmarker. And I've been reading Brides in the Desert. These are like Friday reads. Brides in the Desert, Spirituality of the Beguines by Saskia Murk-Jansen. And this is the Traditions of Christian Spirituality series. And you notice I have an index card where I stop reading. So these are all Friday reads. Mysticism and the Reformation, 1500 to 1650, Part 1, Volume 6, The Presence of God, The History of Western Christian Spirituality. And you'll see there's an index card where I stopped reading. And Varieties of Vernacular Mysticism, 1350 to 1500, by Bernard McGinn, Presence of God, Volume 5, History of the Western Christian Tradition, A History of Western Christian Mysticism, and there's an index card. So I use index cards, and been reading Soli Pistis, Volume 1, by Gernard, and there you see an index card. I've read 135 pages out of that. And then I've been reading this new one I showed you. I got another series in the Classics of Western Spirituality by Angela of Felino, Complete Works. She lived from, I think, 1248, and she died in 1309. And this is her complete works. She was a medieval Beguine woman mystic, or I don't know if she would even call herself a mystic. I don't know what she would call herself. A Christian? A lover of Jesus Christ? So yeah, but one of the things I was going to do, well, I just got these books out of the lower level to look at tonight. I just showed you Bernard McGinn, and then I remembered he edited this volume, edited by Bernard McGinn, Apocalyptic An Encyclopedia of Apocalypticism, Volume 2, Apocalypticism in Western History and Culture. And I wanted to look at this because some of what I've been reading is covered in here. There are different essays. That's why it's edited by him. There are essays like Apocalypticism in Early Christian Theology by Brian E. Daly. Brian E. Daly has a book coming out on patristic exegesis that it's like a bunch of articles and essays he's done, and I want to get that. And then there's like Bernard McGinn has an essay, Apocalypticism and Church Reform from 1100 to 1500. That's what I want to read. And then he has other essays by other scholars. I don't recognize any here right now. Oh, and then there's another essay by Bernard McGinn, Part 2, Themes and Application of Apocalypticism, The Last Judgment in Christian Tradition. So, Volume 1 is Encyclopedia of Apocalypticism. Volume 1, The Origins of Apocalypticism and Judaism and Christianity, edited by John J. Collins. John J. Collins has written books on apocalypticism. I can't even pronounce the word, but this is, he edited this one. There's a volume 3, which I don't have. I just have these. I don't have volume 3. But one of the reasons why I'm making this video on a Friday night is because I made a video the other day about used book haul. And I told you I couldn't remember which ones I had shown in the video or which ones were new or whatever. And I just showed you the books I had just gotten from the Book Nook, the local library used bookstore. And today I had to leave the house. We have an Arctic blast coming through next week here in Michigan, and we're not going to go anywhere. And my wife forgot to buy a gallon of milk. And so it was a nice day today. It was like in the 30s, the sun was out, there was a thaw. And I told my wife that I would go to Aldi's grocery store after going to Gateway thrift store to look at used books. So late this morning, I left the house, the sun was shining, the roads were clear, blue sky, and I drove to Gateway Rescue Mission thrift store, and then on the way home, I stopped at Aldi's and got a gallon of milk and some Fig Newtons. So what I wanted to do is just show you the books, the used books I got at the Gateway today, so I can know that I've shown these in a video. And now I can put these away or put them where I can find some space down the lower level. It's getting kind of crazy down there. My wife said the other day when she was down there, I'm always seeing new stack of books everywhere. The stacks are getting higher. And she's right. I mean, I'm getting to a breaking point maybe. I don't know. I keep thinking about getting rid of some books, take them to Blue Stockings Bookshop or in-store credit. But I just don't know which ones. I'm always wrestling in my mind which ones to take because I've gotten rid of so many books and I don't know what else to get rid of that I really want to keep. But these are the ones I found at thrift store at Gateway today, which is a big, huge thrift store. They sell furniture, knickknacks, clothes, all kinds of stuff, and they sell used books. And I picked this one up today, RADS, the 1970 bombing of the Army Math Research Center at the University of Wisconsin and its aftermath, a true story of the end of the 60s. So this is took in 1970, the height of the anti-war movement here in America, and it's about that bombing. It's about the late 60s, of course, the 1970, and I'm into the anti-war movement, into radical politics, into student uprisings, hippies. When I was in 1968, 69, I marched against the war in Vietnam there in San Francisco Bay Area. I applied to be a conscious objector. You know all the story. I've told you those in past videos. But this is by Tom Bates. So you see, there was already a bookmark in here. It says it was bought in Madison, Wisconsin. So I use this instead of using an index card. And then I found this book at Gateway. It's selling Sissing Hearst, Viva Sackville West and the Creation of a Garden by Viva Sackville West and Sarah Raven. I already had this book. Viva Sackville West was in the Bloomsbury group. She was apparently, she had a relationship with Virginia Woolf, which I'm not really sure if it was a lesbian relationship. I don't really know, but you can see love letters between Virginia Woolf and Sackville West. She wrote novels, and she had a garden that was very famous. She was into gardening. And this one is Viva's Other World, a gardening biography of V. Sackville West by Jane Brown. I already had this one. And then I found this one at the Gateway today. As you know, I collect books on, there's a photo of Via Sackville West, very famous. And there's a photograph of her. So I was kind of pleased. It almost looks brand new, like it never been read. And so I picked this up. It has really nice photos in it of the garden, and it's kind of like a biography too of Vita Sackville West. And Sarah Raven, she married the grandson of, I think, one of the children of Viva Sackville. I'm not really sure, but anyway, Sarah Raven lived in where Viva Sackville West and her husband lived in this garden. So really nice book. Really, here's another picture of a garden. See, really nice book. So, and then I picked up at Gateway. I collect books I like history books, and the Middle East kind of intrigues me, especially what's going on there right now in Palestine and Israel and Syria and Lebanon and Jordan and those countries. And I found this at Gateway today, One Palestine, Complete, Jews and Arabs Under the British Mandate by Tom Segev, translated by Haim Watzman. It says here, Tom Segev's widely acclaimed works, 1949 and The Seventh Million. These are two books he wrote besides this one. Overturned accepted views of the history of Israel. Now Segev explores the dramatic period before the creation of the state, when Britain ruled over one Palestine complete, as noted, receipt signed by the High Commissioner, when it promised to both Jews and Arabs that they would inherit the land, set in motion the conflict that haunts the region to this day. So I picked that up. And then I picked up this book at Gateway, Indian Summer, The Secret History of the End of the Empire by Alex van Tunzelmann. This was translated, I think it was a translation, but I'm not sure. Anyway, it's the story of how the break apart of India that came to be Pakistan. At the stroke of midnight on August the 15th, 1947, one of the 20th century's defining moments came. The sovereign nation of India and Pakistan were born, and 1,400 million people gained independence. With the loss of India, its greatest colony, the British Empire gave up its centerpiece. Winston Churchill, who had done his best to sabotage India's independence, mourned Britain's loss of influence as the shift of power was felt around the world. In the new nations themselves, violence exploded. Muslims, Sheiks, Hindus clashed in waves of slaughter, rape, and carnage. Millions were driven out or murdered as India's new leader, Nehru, watched his dreams of life and freedom turn to chaos and destruction. So yeah, I have a lot of books on India, history of India, the British Empire. So I picked that up. And then I picked up this big book. I'm not really a military buff. I mean, I'm not really into military history or... Now, I do collect books on the First World War, especially in Britain, how it affected the culture. And after the First World War, everything changed in Europe. But I found this at Gateway, and it was only I think $1. It was called Oxford Companion of Military History. And I don't know, I like reference books. I have a bunch of these Oxford companions on different things, and if I see them, I tend to buy them. Don't ask me why. I have the Oxford book on London, the Oxford book on French literature, the Oxford book on Ireland, things like that. Oxford companion to the writings of Henry David Thoreau. I don't know. I like these Oxford's companions. So this is one on military history, edited by Richard Holmes. So yeah, these are the used books I found at Gateway today. I started reading this evening. I probably won't get deep into it, but I'm interested in the anti-war movement and how the 60s, that part of American history. So, and I'm interested in the end times, the apocalyptic, and especially how it was understood throughout history, especially in medieval Europe. That's why I got this out. Really enjoying reading The Natural History by Carlos. I read this before I go to bed, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm glad I found it. Well, I told you I ordered another novel by him, and I'll probably get his first novel I'll order someday. So tonight I've been reading Brides in the Desert, the Spirituality of the Beguines, and writing in my diary, and it's going on 7:22 at night. So tomorrow is Saturday. Tomorrow is professional football, the playoffs. My wife will be gone again tomorrow for that women conference on prayer in the morning, and then she comes home in the afternoons. So that's about it. Nothing else really going on. Friday was kind of a quiet. Like this morning, I told you I read this morning, this morning, and I read this morning. Friday reads. It's kind of book you can get lost to, but I enjoy reading about Christian mysticism, the literature of Christian mysticism. And this morning, my wife and I, we were reading through the Gospel of Luke, and reading the Valley of Vision. So tomorrow, I might go to Goodwill. I haven't gone to Goodwill here near where we live. Tomorrow I have to go do an errand in the morning, and I'll be right near Goodwill, and I'll probably stop by there because the weather's going to get bad late Saturday evening until Sunday, and falling into Wednesday it's going to be really bad here, and we're going to have to hunker down. Supposed to get 6 inches of snow and 6 degrees, 5 degrees in the day, and blowing winds. But today it was kind of beautiful. The sun was shining. The snow melted on our driveway. Not all completely, but so it was kind of nice. So I'm going on 21 minutes. Nothing else really going on. I'm still struggling. I don't feel well. I don't know when I'll feel well. But I do thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the comments. I've been getting some kind of negative comments lately, or comments that are kind of silly and foolish. I don't know why. I mean, I'm 73 years old, and I don't know why people just can't grow up. I mean, come on. Nobody forces you to watch these videos. Nobody, I mean, I make very plain that I'm a Christian bookworm and diary writer, and that I'm a conservative, and that I am an American, that I love America. You know, I read American history, American political history, American literary history, American art. I'm really into music. That's one thing I forgot. I forgot to show you the CDs I got at Gateway. Hold on. Yes, I forgot to, Gateway not only sells used books, used DVDs, and used CDs, and I always look at their CDs, and I'll just quickly show them. I got the band The Last Waltz, which is the soundtrack to the movie The Last Waltz. And then I picked up the best of the band. The band was the band that played with Bob Dylan, and they went on to become very famous themselves. And then I bought Tim O'Brien and Daryl Scott, which is kind of bluegrass, kind of country kind of music. And then I really like Van Morrison. This is a compilation, Bang Masters by Van Morrison. I really like Van Morrison. This is Robin Trower, Bridge of Sighs, which I remember when I was in high school. I think this was first, I can't remember when this came out. This is a reissue. Oh, I can't remember. But this is Bridge of Sighs. Then Emmylou Harris, Red Dirt Girl. I really like Emmylou Harris. And then I got Norah Jones, kind of pop, kind of jazz, piano music, Daybreaks. Yeah, I always look at their CDs. The only time I listen to music, to tell you the truth, is when I'm in the car. Now today I did listen to Norah Jones today, and I did listen to Tim O'Brien and Daryl Scott today on my stereo. And I really, one of my favorite concert films is The Last Waltz. When the band was going to kind of basically break up, they had a big concert at the Fillmore West in San Francisco, and they had all these artists come on, and they made it into a film. What's one of my favorite films? And this is the soundtrack, like it has on here, theme from the Last Waltz, Up Cripple Creek, and then it has Neil Young, Helpless, Joni Mitchell, Coyote. Oh, it has all kinds of artists on here. Eric Clapton, Further Up on the Road. They're playing along with the band. I think at the end, Bob Dylan comes on. Baby Let Me Follow You Down is on here with the band, with Bob Dylan. The band, I Don't Believe You. She Acts Like I Never Have Met Bob Dylan. Forever Young, the band with Bob Dylan. Caravan, Van Morrison with the band. It goes on and on. It's really nice concert. So I'm going on 25 minutes. I'm rambling. I'll sign off. This is a Friday Reads. These are used books, used CDs, what I read today, I don't know what I'm going to read tomorrow. I'll probably keep reading my devotional books and reading through the Gospel of Luke. And tomorrow I'll probably go up to Goodwill if the weather is okay tomorrow morning. And but that's it. So I sign off. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you'll have a good reading weekend. Hope you have a good new week if I don't make a video. And until next time, bye.